What's going on, guys? Hokage Puya here. Quarterfinals reaction. The last two quarterfinal games were played yesterday. I was busy. Got to give my thoughts on it now. England winning on penalties against Switzerland. We're going to talk about this bum-ass English team. And Netherlands fight back from 1-0 down against the Turkish. And they make a semifinals. I don't know how many people had Netherlands, the Dutch, in the semifinals on their books, but that's what it is. It's tournament football. The Dutch find themselves in a semi. And let's go, man. Their chances against England, we're going to talk about that at the end of the game. I'm at the end of the video, but I think first I want to touch on the England game, man. The Swiss, just this close from back-to-back Euros, disappointing. Another favorite of the tournament. This close. They went to penalties against the English. And the penalties, you guys, the penalties were just not good enough. Akanji's initial penalty. I really thought, usually center backs are actually good at taking penalties. And you think a guy like Akanji who's having, you guys, let's be honest, Akanji has probably been, a team of the tournament center back. Akanji has been fantastic for Switzerland. You're thinking a guy who's having a tournament like Akanji and the fact that center backs are actually pretty good at penalties, you would think that he would produce, a beautiful upper 91. Upper 90, upper bottom left corner, bottom right corner. He produces an awful, timid penalty. Jordan Pickford saved, and that was the beginning of the end for the Swiss. Speaking on the game, again, I didn't think. Listen, it was always going to be Switzerland defending deeper and trying to counter the English, right? The English have so much more quality on paper that the Swiss were never really going to challenge for majority possession. You know what I mean? That was always going to be the Swiss game plan. Murat Yakin was always going to send his boys out there to counter the English and nick a goal and defend. And they did that, guys. They did that. The first half was crap. The first half of the game, England versus Swiss, so boring. I mean, you have to blame England more for how bad it was because England is the team in possession. The Swiss are there to defend and counter, right? And England, when they were in possession in the first half, were so bad, guys. They were so awful. And in the second half, things didn't really change. Like people are saying that, oh, England played better in the second half, this and that. I really didn't think the English performance was that much better in the second half because in the second half starts, the Swiss game plan is executed perfectly. It's almost similar to the Germany game where they defend all first half. You go into the half 0-0. No, they went into the half against Germany 1-0, but it was almost the same flow as the Germany game where they get the counter and they execute. Breland Bolo gets the goal. 1-0 down, you're thinking, finally, England are finally going to get punished for their crap performances. But a couple minutes later, Bukayo Saka finally does something in this tournament. He assisted on the first match day against Serbia, didn't do anything, didn't do diddly squat for all the games. And today, or yesterday, against the Swiss, produces a fantastic bottom left-hand corner off the post finish through traffic, gets England back 1-1. And, I expected England to, after that 1-1, the English fans at the stadium, I really expected now they go and destroy the Swiss and put 2 or 3 more goals past them. That didn't really happen. That honestly did not happen. It became a cagey match again. You go to extra time. I honestly think the Swiss had the better chances the entire game. They're gonna be frustrated with themselves that they didn't take some of the chances that they created for themselves because I thought the Swiss had the best chances of the game. Again, England for 120 minutes of this match, the whole game, I wasn't impressed. And we're sitting here now, and England, who hasn't even impressed in a single game, they have not given us a 90 minutes of, wow, England played fantastic. They haven't given us even a half of, that was beautiful champagne football from England. They haven't given us anything all tournament. Yet these guys are in a semifinal. They are very fortunate. England are very fortunate that their side of the bracket is so easy. They really are. And, the other reason why they're in a semifinal is, you guys, that's tournament football. As much as I want to sit here and say England play like crap, even if they win the Euros, they're one of the worst Euros winning teams of all time. They don't know how to play football. The players overrated. All you have to do is win. And if you win, it doesn't matter how you win in these international tournaments, at the World Cup, at the Euros, at the Copa, at AFCON, at Asia Cup. It doesn't matter how you win. All that matters is that you win. And they are in a semifinal now. And they play the Dutch. We're going to talk about the Dutch, the Holland Turkey game right now. But for England, man, I really think that against the Dutch, and we're gonna touch on the game after I talk about the Netherlands, but actually let's move on. So England won. England won. Swiss sucks to suck. Penalties. It's brutal. Something I want to say though is that extra time was so awful. I think the extra time of Spain, Portugal, France, Portugal wasn't that great. Spain and Germany's extra time was actually really exciting. But something I wish they just bring to football, and I'm pretty sure it used to exist. You guys, extra time would be so much better. Would be so much better, and I die on this hill. Extra time would be so much better with golden goal. If golden goal existed, guys, extra time would be so much more exciting, so many more iconic moments. So that's just a little something my thoughts on extra time. I think as as FIFA and UEFA get greedy and want to give more games to fans to make more money, they're gonna have to look to ways to decrease match times or limit the amount that players play. And if you introduce golden goal into extra time, man, you could see, very exciting extra time performances from both teams in a game. And you could see games slashed, game time slashed, in half of the extra time. Instead of 30 minutes waiting for penalties, you could get 5 minutes in, someone could score, boom, game over, end of the match. Golden goal, I think, would solve a lot of issues with extra time. But anyway, that's a tangent. On to the Dutch, on to the Turkish. Turkey, man. Now, as much as I disagree with the fans and the political gestures and whatever, and Demiral and the fans during the national anthem, they were putting the signal up. The Turkish had a good tournament, dude, and I said it. Go back to my pre-tournament video, my group stage predictions. I said with Turkey playing in Germany, I said with the sheer amount of Turkish fans that live in Germany, every game is gonna feel like a home game to them. I told you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if Turkey make a quarterfinal. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run in this tournament. I think a lot of people thought they wouldn't even make it out of the groups. Go back to my video 1 or 2 months ago. I told you guys, do not sleep on Turkey. They will make a run in this tournament. And I will sit here to tell you, I told you so. And I told you so. And in the end, they get knocked out in the quarterfinals. They were leading against the Netherlands. A set piece goal. Guys like Arda Güler had Turkey's best player by far. Arda Güler, what a tournament. I was a little bit disappointed with Kenan Yildiz during the length of the tournament so far, but Arda Güler, man, the fact that Real Madrid have this kid is unfair, man. Absolutely unfair that Real Madrid have him and all the other talent that they have. But he had a fantastic time in Germany this summer. So yeah, I think he proved with this Turkey team that he is not this fraudulent talent, that he is going to be eventually a starter for Real Madrid and one of the best players in the world, 100%. He's going to lead the next generation of Turkish football. But yeah, they go up 1-0 and you're thinking, oh shit. The Dutch, again, in recent history, I know they have a Euros win, but the Dutch are bottlers, guys. The Dutch bottle games in knockout tournaments. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, there we go. We can't trust the Dutch. They're given a pathway to the final, playing teams like Romania and Turkey. A pathway to the semifinal. You think, all right, there you go. The Dutch are going to shoot themselves in the foot, and they're not going to come back. I didn't think they had the character to come back. They go into the half 1-0 down, but second half comes out. What happens? They come back 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. They finish the game off winners. And yeah, Gakpo, I have to check, but I don't know if that goal for Gakpo counted, but let's say it did count. He always shows up for the Dutch. I think he has 6 or 7 goals in this Euros and the World Cup combined. So he is a guy for the Netherlands. Yes, maybe since moving from PSV to Liverpool, he hasn't really hit that, form that we expect from him. But he's showing for the Dutch that he shows up in these big moments at these tournaments. If you could just translate that to Liverpool, Gakpo can surely become one of the most influential players in the world, 100%. But he needs to hit that form in the at Liverpool. And Klopp wasn't able to get it out of him. Maybe Arne Slot can get him out of him this year. The new Liverpool manager, we'll see. But the Dutch, man, good stuff. Good stuff. I liked to see that from the Netherlands. Like, you guys fighting back from 1-0, getting to a semifinal. The Dutch should be really happy with how this tournament has gone, especially taking into account that 2 of their starting midfielders went out injured before the tournament even started. Frankie de Jong and Koopmeiners. Both didn't even make it to the tournament. They got injured, and they're still in a semifinal. They still were able to claw back 1-0 down to Turkey. a team who does sit back. It's always tough when you go down against these teams that sit back and counter. If you go down 1-0, it's tough to get back. But the Dutch showed character to come back and beat Turkey. They did. So congrats to the Dutch. They're in the semis against England. Now let's talk about the England-Dutch semifinal. Listen, I think the Dutch 100% have been more impressive than England this tournament. Guys like Xavi Simons has had a better tournament than Bellingham, that has had a better tournament than Phil Foden and Saka, in my opinion. I think Xavi Simons has been brilliant for the Dutch. Gakpo has been miles better than Harry Kane this tournament. The defense, you guys think of the depth the Dutch have at center back. I think this will be the last tournament, or potentially the last tournament, for the guys like De Vrij and Van Dijk. But their starting back three is Nathan Ake, De Vrij, and Van Dijk. On the bench, they have freaking Matthijs de Ligt and Mickey van de Ven. So I am predicting that. Now we'll see how much longer Van Dijk can go, but I think this will be De Vrij's last tournament. But the Dutch have an incredible center back depth, and if they're able to nail the defense down and stay compact against England, Ake, De Vrij, and Van Dijk, against that English attack, I could genuinely see England being shut out in that game. I think England's defense has been and under Southgate, England's defense has always been their point of strength. Southgate knows how to set up a defense for these international tournaments, and he knows how to win. I think the stat is now that Gareth Southgate has more knockout wins than every single England manager combined. More wins in the knockout stages of the Euros and the World Cup than every other English manager combined. He has more knockout stage wins. So I know everyone's saying Southgate out, but I'm telling you, dude, the ability to win in these games, yes, it's not pretty. Yes, I understand. And I complain about that. I think England, with the quality they have, should be able to perform way better than they are. But they're still winning. So the Dutch, I do favor the Dutch in the semifinal game against England, but dude, England they just continue to win. They continue to win these knockout ties. And it's not like the Dutch, I'm favoring them too much. The Dutch and the English, on paper, England have the stronger team. But if we're going off performance and you average out performances during the tournament and the squad, this is a 50-50 tie. Now, who knows? England can explode and just score 2 or 3 goals this game in the semifinal against the Netherlands. Oh my gosh, I'm stumbling over my words. But I honestly, there's no reason for me to believe at this tournament, and even the games leading up to the tournament, that England are going to show up and put 2 or 3 goals past guys like Van Dijk, De Vrij, Nathan Ake. I have no reason to believe that. But it's not like this Dutch team is untouchable, that have a rock-solid defense. They are there to be broken down. This is going to be an even game. I think the Dutch will be on the front foot. I think England will have more possession, right? But I think the Dutch will really try to attack these guys with speed, because no one's really done that to the English, attacking them with speed. Depay, I think Bergwijn will be back, but Depay, Bergwijn, Xavi Simons, these guys can hurt England 100%. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I am favoring the Dutch. I honestly think England, yes, they keep winning. I think at a certain point, you will be punished for playing like crap, because let's be honest, they are probably one of the most undeserving semifinalist teams I've ever seen. Up there with Portugal 2016. I don't know how they're here. I don't know how they're still here. Same goes with France. I don't know how they're still here. I definitely believe a team like Germany, who unfortunately came up against Spain, who's probably been the best team at this tournament, is a deserving semifinalist, but they came up against Spain in the quarterfinals. That's how the tournament bracket ended up playing out. So yeah, man, I favor the Dutch in this game. I'm not going to count out the English, but if I were to give a score prediction, I would say I think the Dutch can win, and I think they will win 2-1. I think they'll win 2-1 against England. So we're going to have to wait and see. I think that game's on Wednesday. Tuesday is Spain versus France. And yeah, this is Manokage Puya. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.